Hi, welcome back to my channel, the little green car. Sure glad you could stop by today. Anyway, I finally got that 41 Chevy pickup done. You probably thought that was never going to happen, but here it is. Voila! Look at that. Now I think that turned out pretty well. Now that's holding it. So there's a view of the box. Painting those black lines was a little bit of a challenge, but anyway, I think it turned out all in all. For my first attempt in, like, say, 50 years, it's not too bad. Is it perfect? No, not at all. But it looks pretty much like the one on the box. Doesn't have that visor. I didn't put that on because mine didn't have that. And it doesn't have those fancy wheels because mine didn't have that either. It's just plain old stock 41 Chevy pickup. It wasn't customized or, anything. It was just, I put it back just the way it came from the factory. And that's the way I kind of like things. I don't like old cars that have been, customized and lowered, chopped and lowered and stuff. I just like to have them be the way they were originally, with the original motor. And little motor in that truck was a little 6-cylinder. I don't know, I can't remember now what it had for horsepower, but it didn't have a lot of power. But it could certainly do as much work as that brand new Ford I bought in 1971. I mean, wasn't near as nice, ride as nice, but it would do every bit as much work. It could haul as much in that box, weight-wise, as you could in that brand new 71 Ford. So I really didn't get anything other than that I got a little nicer ride, and of course I got a nice shiny two-tone blue Ford pickup. And I really liked it. I had enjoyed it a lot, but I wished I'd kept that old 41 Chevy. Anyway, there's 142 pieces that go into that dang thing, and they came on little, things like this. I don't know what the heck you call them, but they have all the little pieces, and there's like 4 or 5 of those. The only larger pieces was the frame, and then the body of the truck, which is just the body frame with the running boards and the fenders, and then the cab is separate, and the hood and the side panels on your box and the floor of the box. Those are larger pieces, but and the grill is not too big a piece. But other than that, they're just all kinds of, there's got to be 120 some tiny little pieces that you got to glue together. The springs and the spring shackles and the shock absorbers and the exhaust system and the transmission and all that stuff. And I don't know why they get some, make that engine so complicated. They have all these little pieces because, when I glued the hood on, I mean, you can't see the engine anyway. There's no hinges on it, and I didn't want to have it just sitting there loose where it'd fall off. So I guess you could just ignore that if you really wanted to. But if you turn it upside down, you can see the undercarriage there. But no, it was really a lot more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I really, really enjoyed making this, and I think the next model I make I'll enjoy even more. Uh, if I can't find a sailing ship, I'll probably try to find a semi tractor and find a Kenworth like the one I used to drive. I've seen models of that, and I think that'd be kind of fun to make because I drove one for 41 years, and I think that's, I would enjoy making that. But so that's my story about the 41. Well, no, there's one more. I had a dark green one that I bought. Oh God, up in central Montana. I hauled it home in the wintertime in a snowstorm, and I parked it out in the backyard, and I worked on it back there for quite a bit, and finally I decided I got tired laying in the dirt, so I pulled it around front, and I had a friend of mine help me push it into our driveway because it slopes just a little bit, and I worked on it there. I put it up on jack stands, and I could scoot around underneath it with one of those creepers, and I worked on that, and was taking it apart. This rancher came by on the street and stopped and asked if I'd be willing to sell it to him. His son had seen it and wanted to have a project, and I said, yeah, I do that. Can't remember what I sold it to him for. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a little more than I paid for it, so I came out all right on it. I had spent quite a bit of time on it, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and so that was the last 41 Chevy pickup I had. I think next week or this week I'll start on making a checkbook cover. I used to tool leather, and in fact I've built saddles and done quite a bit of leather work back in the '60s, and I enjoyed it a lot. And so I'm gonna, make a checkbook cover. I'm gonna start something really simple. It's easy to do. It's a little functional piece. I think I paid, I don't know, $15 for it, kit or something like that. Not terribly expensive, but it's an enjoyable thing to do when you carve that leather and you look at it. It's just a kind of plain piece of leather, and when you're done with it, you've got a nice, pattern carved into it, and then they look nice when they're all done. And you dye the leather whatever color you want, and put your checkbook in there and keep it in your back pocket, and they look nice. There's kits available from, like I say, I paid around $15 for that kit there, but you could have handbags that you could make for people that range anywhere from 25 up to $400 or $500. I mean, they, depending upon how complicated and how intricate you want to make them. I made a attaché case for my wife back in the '60s that we still have, and I carved the front panel on that, and it looks still looks great. All these years later, it's been, I probably made that in sometime in the '60s, and like I say, here it is, 2022, and it still looks really just as nice as when I made it. And she used that quite a bit over the years, being a school teacher and traveling and stuff. So there's a lot of that stuff that you can do, and people would, I think, enjoy seeing that. And like I say, it's about the things that I can do, because I'm not good at these things, but by practice you get better. Just like when I started driving truck, you know, I wasn't born with a steering wheel in my hands, but I think that I got pretty darn good at driving truck, and I drove millions of miles without an accident. And not that that's bragging or anything, but it took practice, and things that I was difficult for me, I'd practice them and practice and practice until I get good at it. And it's the same with making these models and stuff. You practice until you get good at it. I mean, you make one model and maybe you think it's just a piece of crap. Well, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. Somebody else, that's say, well, my God, Frank over there, he made a model and it's just gorgeous. Well, maybe he's made 100 of them before, and so you haven't seen the first one he made. And so I think it's important just to keep things in perspective. When you start out, you do the best job you can, and you learn. You worked on things on your model that were difficult, or that you had trouble gluing together and stuff, and so the next time you do it, it'll be a little easier for you. You'll find that as you go along, the more you do, the better you get at it. And there's all kinds of models you can make. I mean, you can make ships that actually float, are remote controlled, and you can put them in a lake and and steer them around with your remote control. And there's airplanes that you can fly. I mean, there's big clubs that fly airplanes, all kinds of airplanes. I mean, you can see videos of people that fly bombers and passenger planes that are they must have 6, 8, 10-foot wingspans of them. I mean, there takes two people to carry them around. And so there's the sky is the limit really on what you can make, from little balsa wood things that you can put on a shelf or hang from your ceiling, to big planes or big ships that you can fly, that you can ships that you can sail on a pond or lake. So there's they're just not for kids anymore. There's just this 41 Chevy pickup was a kind of a beginner, and it said for 12, I think for 5 and up, or 12 and up, I guess it was. But it was just a beginner's, and I learned a lot from it, and I enjoyed doing it, and it turned out nice. But next time I'll go a little more complicated, and then progress up. But these guys are making these great big fancy models, they all had to start off, you know, with something basic. And as you do it, you improve your skills with it. And same with leather work. I mean, you start out, you know, carve a leather belt, you carve a checkbook cover or a wallet, and then you progress up, and maybe you want to make somebody a handbag or something like that, you know. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. It's same with any hobby you do. I don't care what your hobby is, you know, whether it's photography or drawing or painting. Don't get discouraged because you think, oh, I'm no good at this. I can't, I can't draw anything. I can't even draw stick figures well. You know, you got to start someplace. And if you pursue it and you practice it long enough, then you'll get good at it. And I'd like to learn how to draw better and paint. I think that's always enjoyed looking at scenery. I think it'd be nice to be able to paint some scenery and stuff. And I'm not particularly good at it. I have a sister that's phenomenal at it. She's a real artist. She can paint, portraits, and she can sculpt and make a sculpture of somebody, and it really looks just like the person. I don't have those skills. It'd be nice if I did. But we all have, things that we're good at and skills that we can, hone and develop into something useful. And so, like I say, this is not about me. This is about trying to get you, men and women, wherever you are that you see this video, and I'd like to get the video in front of more people, but to get them to say, I can do that. I can make that. I can make models. I can do leather work. I can knit. I can, be a photographer. I can be a gourmet chef. Whatever it is, there's just, the list is endless of things that you could learn to become and do well, and it'll keep you occupied, and you'll think, God, it's, well, I don't want to say it'll be like a second career, but it'll certainly be something that'll occupy your time, and it'll give you a sense of purpose. And I think that is the most critically important thing for people my age to realize that, you got to keep your mind active. You got to keep your body active and do things. And I guess I've rambled on enough for today. I don't know if I'll have a video out next weekend or not. I have to help a friend of mine at a gun show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so if I don't have time, it'll be the following week before I get a video out. But I'll try to get something posted either by the end of the week or on Monday instead of Saturday. But until then, you have a great week, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you don't, tell me what you don't like about it, because I'd like to know, because if I can improve these videos, I'm certainly more than willing to adapt and change. Anyway, my dog just came in here and told me that it's time to quit. So have a nice day.